New York City has begun to evict dozens of migrant families that had reached their 60-day limits on stays in the homeless shelter system. This is the latest effort by the city to urge more of them to leave and find permanent housing. Nearly 70,000 migrants are living in a patchwork of hotels, homeless shelters, and giant winterized tents set up by the city. The first wave of evictions coincided with an unexpected and significant hurdle. City officials announced that they would temporarily evacuate 100 to 900 migrants currently housed in a tented shelter site in southeast Brooklyn because of a rainstorm headed for the city on Tuesday night. The migrant families with children forced out of the city's buckling shelter system as a result of the 60-day limit will be allowed to reapply for another spot. But they will have to leave the shelters they have called home for weeks and sometimes months and go to a city intake center with their suitcases to be assigned new beds, potentially at a different location.
Maria Maricaro stood outside the Row Hotel, 8 months pregnant, having just been evicted. She and her husband are among the roughly 40 families, many with young children, whose 60-day notice from the city is up. With Comptroller Brad Lander looking on, Maria explained how her extension request to stay at the Row was denied. She said she would make her way to the Roosevelt Hotel, the city's main migrant navigation center, and likely be granted additional shelter.
Mayor Adams defended his decision to force migrant families to reapply for shelter, arguing at a news conference on Monday that the city was being overwhelmed by new arrivals and that families living in hotels had to find more stable places to live. He promised, as he has before, that no families with children would be forced to sleep on the streets. "We're doing it in a very humane way," he said. Since last spring, nearly 170,000 migrants have traveled from the southern border to ask for help in New York City, many of them drawn to the city's unique legal mandate to provide free housing to anyone who asks for a bed.